perfect. So let me just move this one there and use the template. Okay, so basically how this will work is if I go to this one. Okay, so I'll use, can everyone see those? It's too small, must I make it bigger? It's just scream or shout or something. All right. Okay. All right. So basically how this will then work is I've got this product, it's one product. I've got two different pack sizes for this product. But in this scenario, I've got an alternative barcode for, let's say, this product. So let me just copy this line and then I'll just insert it here so that we can see. There we go. Okay. So I've got an alternative barcode for this one. So what I'm going to do is I'll just take this one line, or let's just call it, but I need that basically. And on my other spreadsheet, I'll just put it in there. Okay, now this barcode could be a new barcode. Doesn't like that. Okay, so then what will happen is how Genesis will work through it. It will say, take the barcode that I've scanned now, go look inside of this SDK master, the master file for that barcode, see if you can find it there. If you don't find it there, go to this column, look for the supplier code, look if you can find it there. This is how so this is on scanning of a barcode. So at till level, the customer brings the product in, the cashier scans that product. Then the steps that goes through the system is, okay, I've got this barcode, go find it there. If you don't find it there, go look for it there. If you don't find it there, go look for it there. The next step it will go to is go look if you can find it there. If you don't find it there, come to this table, which is our alternative table, and look for it there. And then it went through all the places where you can look for a barcode, stock code, link code, supplier code. Okay, so that's the mentality or the methodology.
Is that the hierarchy in which it scans?
Yes, it is. Yes,
so I'll take it out of the raw data set. I'll take the first barcode, put it in the barcode field of the SDK master, and then I'll take the other barcode, map it to the stock code, and put it into SDK barcode.
SDK alt barcodes, yes.
Okay.
So this is how you do alternative barcodes if you want to put it there.
So how many barcodes can we take onto the system, Annie?
As many as you want.
Okay. Does the sheet check if there's clashing barcodes in the barcode field or clashing stock codes as well?
No, it doesn't check for duplicates. So let me go back to my main sheet. I just wanted to, so Kinglof, you asked that question. So just where you add an alternative barcode is inside of this spreadsheet. So I'll add this into my main spreadsheet, which is this one here. I'll just add a new field in here and make sure that you guys have that as well. All right, let's continue. So basically we've got stock code, link code. I've sort of explained what it is. It's basically just a link to the units and then also the pack size. And then obviously that's description. This is the VAT code. This is the department. So if you've got stock departments, you populate the stock departments there. So let's see if I do have departments. I do. So these ones are the departments for this customer. And these products are linked to those departments. Okay. And the same methodology works for all of these fields, all of those ones.
Sorry, Ernie, can you hear me?
I can.
Sorry to bother you there. Just with regards to the departments, is there a formatting issue or not? Do you have to say 007 or 002, etc., or 7's fine? Okay.
Not at all.
Single digit's fine.
what we actually, you can do whatever you want inside of this. The only requirement is you can't go bigger than 10. So let me explain you this quickly. So let's say, for instance, I have this, what's this, pharmaceuticals, and I want to use that as my department code. You will see that it will complain to you in an error that says that this field, or the word inside of this field is too long, it's too big. But I can do that.
Okay, cool.
Okay, so you can, if you really want to, you can go and do this. This one's obviously too long.
So what's our character limit there? You just experiment until you don't get the error.
So it's 10.
Okay, I see. So okay, cool.
Okay, so the character level in brackets, it will always display how much characters you can have. When something is too long, then you need to just go and play with it a little bit.
Cool. Thanks.
Normally do on my side. I just do this. It's for me, it's just a oops. So seems like it's fun. Too long. Okay. That's basically how it works. And this applies for all of these ones. So if I take like that and I want to use that as a stock code or a link code, that's probably complain. This one is what's the chance? Okay. So this is just what it does. It just checks how many characters inside there, and if something, well, what this field does, it checks how many characters is the field length, and whatever information is inside of this block here, and it will then display an error if it's too long or something is not right. Here you can do 2 and so forth and so forth. Okay, and it is across the field. You'll see there. I don't know, probably some guys there with a little bit more skill than I've got, but if they wanted to see what the formula is, it's inside there. Okay. So let me just continue here. So that's barcode. This is obviously the units. That's how much needs to get deducted. I haven't really used this too much, but I'll just explain it. So because you've got different pack sizes, you've got your singles pack per case. That's pack per case. How many packets inside of the case, and then how many cases on side of a pallet. If you really want to fill this in, you can fill this in. There's no real calculation method on selling or buying. It's more just information purposes. So when you're trying to view how many pallets does fit on a truck, we'll probably soon we'll have this. If you've got this populated and you've got also the length, width, and height populated, we will be using that for what is it? What is that thing called again for trip sheets? Yeah, trip sheets for the trucks. Then you can sort of see, okay, how many pallets could I load onto a truck? Okay, that's bin location. Here's the item length, width, height. That's the fields there, just to get the sizing. Serial tracking, is this product a serial tracking item? Yes or no? Linked serial, I can't remember. I think it was, I can't remember what this was. I really can't remember. Kit function, Kit function is to stipulate if the product is a kit, what type of kit is it. Ursula is the kit master. If I remember correctly, you've got, what was those kit functions again? One is you can change the cost. No. See, but see kit functions? One or two. There's two of them.
Yeah, I think the kit function 1 is bill of materials where you can change it, and then kit function 2 is when you create a kit item on a global scenario, and you range it down to the store, then the people at the store won't be able to update that kit item.
Yes, correct. All right, so that's that one there. Negative quantity, allowed to sell into negative, yes or no, basically. Generally, we just keep it as yes, always in the beginning. Reason is you don't know if this customer's on end is not always accurate. You don't know what the state of the data inside of the system is. So we normally leave this as yes. And then at a later stage, we'll change this either on request or just by default. We'll change this to say no. Purchase item, we say to all of them yes. So the reason for purchase item is just to say, this is a product with a case pack size. So let's say, for instance, this is a case pack size. This product is the product I use to purchase on. So when I do my purchase order, it will only show this specific pack size. And it won't show me the unit because I don't order per unit, I order per case. And then you just go to the unit and say no. And then when you do your purchase order, it will automatically just bring in the ones that says yes. All right, sale item, is it a sellable item, yes or no? Inventory item, do you keep stock of this item, yes or no? A print label, this is for if you do a GRV and you want to print your labels from the GRV, this indicator needs to be yes. Then it allows you to print the labels for that product. Alternatively, you can say no. So let's say you've got 2 pack sizes. So this one will be your case, and then this one will be your unit. So when it comes to the print label, this will be yes, and then that will be no, because you don't want to print a label for the bigger pack size, because you don't need to print a label for that. You don't stick labels to your bigger pack sizes. You just print a label for your unit sizes. So that's basically how that works. Quantity decimals. So if you sell, what's the quantity decimals that you want? You can do 2 up until I think 5 or more. Cross decimals, we do as 5 default. We do default 2 there, 5 here.
Sorry to bother you, Ernie.
Yeah.
We can also change that within Genesis itself as well.
Yes,
hey?
yes, 100% you can.
Okay, cool.
On product creation, you've got an option when you create the actual product. You've got an option to say what's the cost and the sell and the quantity decimals that you would like to have.
What cost does the system take in consideration, Andy, when we bring the items in to do the stock valuation for?
Oh, I'll get to that when we get to the cost side of it now.
Okay, cool, thanks.
Okay, this could be just 0. These are for tiles, squares per box, square meters per box. For tiles, basically. That's your tile size, the grade. Length color, this is all tile. These are all tiles, these ones. Just tile grade, square meters, length size. Okay. This description we don't use, actually. The only ones we do use is right in the beginning, description 1. Description 2, if you have to flow over from your 50 characters to a second block, you can use description 2. The other description we do use, I'm just going to go to the end here, which I haven't highlighted in yellow. It's this one. Description 3. So description 3 is the actual description. And then description 1 will be the actual description, which is 3, and it will add a suffix of the pack size. So let me just show you that other spreadsheet again. This one, I think. If I remember correctly, it's this one. So this description for this scenario will look like this. Just going to do a like that. I'm sorry. Oh, sorry. Okay. This description will technically look like this. If you can see. Okay. I don't import it like this. I don't have to, because as soon as you start making the amendments inside of Genesis to any of these products, it will automatically do this. It will automatically add the pack size at the back. That's why I don't do it. Later in the stage, when he touches all the products and everything, it will auto correct the pack sizes at the back of the descriptions. So it's not mandatory. Alrighty, just to say that. And then where were we? Over here. There we go, yeah, that. All right. Okay, so this food column here is actually category 0. In Genesis, there's a category 0. You'll find that there's a category 1, 2, 3, and 4 in the front there, which will be the categories, but this food will be category 0. Okay. KVI item, it's just, is this a KVI item, yes or no? That's just basically what it is. It's just for reporting purposes, actually. I've got no clue. Scale type. All right, so you've got a product that's indicated as a scale item. Now we've got 3 type of scale products. One, actually, let's just open Genesis so you can see. I'll go to one of our, I'll just go to my demo platform. Got it open. I don't know if they do. Let's just say. There we go. So I'll just use this as an example. This is a scale item. Okay, so here you can see it's a scale type. And what is the scale? It's per kilo, or is it a? So we've got 3. It's a per kilo. So it's a or it's a weighted item or a calculate price item. So you put the item on the scale, it will calculate the weight and then give a price according to the weight. Or the other method is to calculate the weight, the price So it calculates price from weight or weight from price. That's the two methodologies. Now, depending on how you set it up, that's what this import template is asking you. So what's the scale type? Goes into this field. This field, yeah. Price calculation or weight calculation. Okay. So, right. Status, obviously, it's the status of the item. Is it an active item? Is it a non-active item? Is it a parked or archived or just on hold? That's the status. Generally, it all should be active. I haven't used these ever. Okay, so these are the ones that's now the costs. Right, so let's have a look. So generally, I'll just ask the customer, listen, are you using last or average? Depending on what he says, I'll populate the average with the last and the last with the average. So I generally just take whatever this value is, and costs are always exclusive. So I go and take whatever cost I can get. If it doesn't indicate that it's inclusive or exclusive, I'll just say that this cost is exclusive. I'll take that, roll it over to the inclusive. Sorry, just mute my phone here. Okay. So I'll just take whatever they can give me. If they give me both, I'll fill in both. If they only give me one, I'll see if I can figure out which one is inclusive or exclusive. If they don't specify, it normally is just exclusive. Costs are normally calculated exclusively. Then I take the exclusive value, I just work out the inclusive, and I'll take this value and put it as the last as well, and then to the buying as well, if he doesn't supply that information. Okay, this one I just leave blank or 0. Can't leave it blank, you have to put in a value. It has to be 0. Cost codes, for those that knows cost codes, that comes into this column. Cost code is just a secret code that you use to know that this is what the cost of that product is, an estimate of what that product is. Property fields we have never used. It's not being used in Genesis at the moment. They are there for future things that we want to do. These ones also not being used. This is a promo from dates and to dates, but promos gets handled separately from a different location. So we don't actually use these columns at the moment. These ones are others, also part of promos. Okay, this is the suggested selling price. So for the guys that's in liquor, suggested selling price will be your RSP, or guys that's in other industries, maybe they have also a suggested selling price, which will be the retailer's price. That will go there, and then you can just have a sort of a bench to see, this is the suggested, this is what I'm selling for, and then versus my costs. Your min-max quantities goes into this block here. It can be 0, as you can see here, because we normally import like that. Now, the one that catches out everyone is these ones. So inside of my template, I've got a formula over here that says today. So whatever date there is, or whatever today's date is, it will fill it into this block. And then the time will also be filled in automatically as this time. I just like to specify the date and time like this, because then I know that it was an import with my DTO user as well. I just use this as normal like this. To copy it down, just do that. So straightforward. But if it's not in this format, it will fail to go into Genesis. Genesis of the database is specifically designed to take a date formula inside there. So if your date is wrong, if your date looks like something like this, not go in. This will not work. It has to be like this. If your time doesn't look like this, your time only looks like this. This will also not work. It has to look like this. It will definitely fail there. Okay. Custom VAT rate. We've got a custom VAT rate inside of the Genesis for kit items. So I leave everything as 15 at the moment. As soon as you start populating the kit items with grocery items that's 0 VATed and VAT rated, it will calculate a custom VAT. So depending on how the kit item is set up, it will stipulate there that, listen, 50% of this product is VATed and 50% is not. So this is actually, there was a debate with a chartered accountant or whatever, that we had an argument to find out how we do this. Now, according to her, the correct way is to work out the actual VAT for the kit item that you used. So if you use raw materials that's non-VATed and then raw materials that is VATed, you have to combine these two and work out a custom VAT rate. So that's what this field is for. Okay, just going to go continue here. Default warehouse, this is for dispatching purposes. So you can link your product to a specific warehouse. You don't have to do it at this stage. The system automatically calculates the default warehouse. It's part of the parameters. But default, you could specify a default warehouse, then this product will always sell all GRV default into that warehouse. Foreign buy cost, this we haven't used yet. This is for future exports, import stuff. This as well. And this as well. Last counted date. This is stock take. When was it last counted? And then this is for sale. Doesn't have to get filled in imports time. This we don't use at the current moment. Okay. This is so if you've got the general ledger activated on the system, you can also activate the system to say you cannot sell a product if the product item is not linked to a GL code. So let me just open this for you as well. You can see that. So let's see where it was. This is the bill of materials one.
Properties indicator.
Yes. Oh, there. That's not showing yet. It's because I think this is a kit item. I just want to go out, sorry. Well, it's not activated. Yeah, excuse. All right, yeah, it's not activated on this system. So basically, the ledger code is inside of this block. There's a block that's supposed to be filled in here. We'll just need to switch it on. Then it opens a block for you to allocate the product to a ledger account. Then that ledger account will live here. That's the pack size. So I'll take this away. All right. We haven't used this. Average stock, we haven't used this. Cost plus, this is for the, so this is just the cost plus. So you can work out the selling price from the cost. So you say from the cost plus X amount will be my selling. That's just the exclusive and the inclusive values for that. DC item, distribution item, yes or no. This one we haven't used. Seasonal Codes we haven't used yet, but it's there. Change selling price. Allowed to change the selling price, yes or no? Kit print. So if you've got a kit item and let's say it's boerewors, you can stipulate on the slip that prints out at till level to show you what was the recipe that was in the wors. So water X amount, spices X amount, beef X amount, whatever the recipe is. It will then print all of those things out on the slip. So if you say yes to this one, when you sell that product, it will print out the recipe on the slippy itself. That's what this one is for. This we don't use at the moment. Kit builder, no, we don't use this. Item ID, we don't use this as well. Okay, we don't use that. Stop take date. It's also stop take date. Again, same as the other one. For the case, we don't use this one. This one here is express code. So we've designed, if you've got like macro, you've got a snake aisle. So you walk inside of this aisle that's stipulated, then we've got an express item to say, mark this item as an express item. Then it will only be able to sell at the kiosk area, for instance.
Excuse me, Ashley, you have your hand up. Do you have any questions?
Okay, I just wanted to check on the VAT column. It is not very clear if we are going to do a split or not.
Sorry, which VAT column? The one at the beginning, yeah, this one.
The S or the Z rated?
Yes, not there's this column which you indicated that you had an argument with one of the chartered accountants where you were supposed to do a split. So my question is, are we going to leave it like that, or there's going to be a split if there is zero rated, VAT rated, and the like? Because from what I can see, just 15% there.
Yeah, so the 15% is as default at the moment. If you sell a product that's zero vetted, this indicator will stipulate if the product is vetted or non-vetted. Okay, the system will automatically pick up that the item is vetted. So this is the standard VAT rate, and then the Z will be is zero VAT rate. So zero then will have no VAT, and the S will have the 15%. Now the 15% that it will have will not populate here. All of these ones will be 15% across the board like this. When it comes into the equation is when you have this product, which I'll just bring up again. Okay, so I'm just going to open up this product. So this is now a kit item. So here you can see if I press on this Control K option on my keyboard. So I'm going to go there, Control K. This item's got no kits in it at the moment, but when you add an item in here, then you can add a zero vetted item in here. So
Yes, Calista?
Yeah, sure. I think I'm following on that.
Okay,
clarified.
Yeah, do you understand? Okay.
Yes, of course.
So, Calista, the synopsis is if you're going to bring in the item, it's non-vetted like millimeal or water, it's going to be Z-rated. Cost exclusive, inclusive is going to be the same. If you're going to bring a normal item in, it's going to be S, there where the VAT rate is, and you're going to work out the VAT on it. And that's the two differences how you'll bring it in.
Yeah.
Z and S.
You just stipulate it there. The only two options you have to worry about is there.
Does that answer your question, Calista?
Yes, of course. I think it clarifies, because I was wondering how we were going to specify that this is VAT rated and this is not. So S and Z does the magic.
That's the one
does
that
the magic,
worry about,
and the selling price is going to work out the same way as well. She'll have an exclusive, inclusive, similar price when it's non-vetted as well. All right.
Okay, noted. Thank you.
Right. I'm just going to go back to this 15% here, just so you guys can understand what this is actually. I'm saying again, when you create a kit item like a boerewors, and you've got different products inside of this boerewors, your meat and your spices and water and derms and all of those things, when you've got all of that in there, let's say you want to add maize meal into this equation, then your VAT rate, your custom VAT rate will change from 15% to less according to the ratio that you use. Then this value here will be amended accordingly. Right. So I recommend in creating the kit item, if you want to do a kit item, you can come and do it here. You can go in here and say, listen, I want to make this a kit item. So then you do it like that. That's a kit item. I'll import the product. I'll come to this screen here. I'll see my product there. I'll see my product like this. And then to go and recalculate the VAT rate, we have to go into this Control K and go and add the kits in there. The recipe now needs to get designed inside of here. It's better to do it this way, then it works out the correct calculation on this this 15% VAT rate, custom VAT rate. It will work it out correctly. To go and work it out manually, you could probably do it, but it's just a pain, so I didn't do it. Okay, yeah, it will do that when you update it. All right, anyway, let's continue. Let's go back here. Where were we? It's express item. So we stopped here. Ignore pallets. We haven't used this as yet. This is to say if it's a pallet is linked to this or not. But there's future stuff that we want to do with this, which we haven't done yet. This is the express item to say it only can go to express tools. So on Genesis, you can indicate a certain space, a specific location. Oopsie, too fast. A specific location where you can say these tools are express tools. Oh, I don't have permission. Guys broke my simulation. Why? Yes. Oh man. All right. Anyway, so basically, you can stipulate that the tool, this specific tool, is an express tool. And when this tool is an express tool, it will only show the items that's marked as express items. So then you can only buy those products at that specific tool. That's the reason behind this block here. Okay, not used. Sell below cost. This is a flag. You can either say yes or no in this block. So yes there or no there. Sorry. I don't fill this in at the moment. Default, it doesn't get filled in anyway. So it's something you need to go and tick on the Stockmaster, which I'll show you. Indicators. So yeah, allowed to sell below cost. It's this flag here. Okay. This is just the version. That's the program version when this product was last updated, or not updated, sorry. When the product was created, what's the version that it was created on? It's just basically for us to see if it's to help in tracing down a bug on creating products, if there is any. Then we can see, okay, this product was created on an old version. That's why this field wasn't filled in, or that field wasn't filled in. But that's the purpose of that one. Excluding GRV discount, I don't think we use this at the moment. This is also express item. Yes or no? It works hand in hand with these ones. Just want to see. The express items only once there, so I don't know which one of the fields it actually uses. interesting. Duplicate, okay. Sale item, is it a sellable item? Yes or no? We don't use this. Oh, scale item, sorry. Yes, it's my border. Scale item, sorry. Yes or no? Is it a scale product? Again, yes or no? That goes back to scale type. So is it a scale item? Yes, it is. And then on the other end, we had a field to say what's the scale type it was. We don't use this at the moment. Base cost exclusive. If you've got a fixed cost that you negotiated, that will go in here on product creation, if I remember correctly. Yeah. So that folds in that block there. Okay, we don't use this. That's the description 3 again. This must always be the same as the description 1 in the beginning. If it's not filled in, the descriptions will be blank. So this is a very important field, hence the yellow. Okay. Default GP, you can specify the GP per product. This field it's actually not being used because it comes from the price file. The GP gets filled in this block. So you don't have to manually go and type in an inclusive. You can just say, listen, I want the price rule. This is the price code. The price rule must be either inclusive or GP calculated or markup calculated or cost plus or whatever. So this rule will indicate how the price needs to get calculated. And then it will populate the selling price on scanning accordingly. So this one actually it's not being used at the moment. Allow returns. Are you allowed to return the product? Yes or no? This is not being used. Git cost description. I don't know. I don't think we use this at the moment. These are the descriptions and then the cost that goes with that. Is a bin location max. So that's the max per bin location. Bin location rate. I don't know if this one's being used actually. Reporting item. I normally say no. This does get ignored at the moment. I think we've commented some of the reports. We've commented this out. There are some other reports that looks at this indicator. This is just to say, is it a reportable item or not? If you run a report, will it show that report, yes or no?
Is there, perhaps, sorry for interrupting, is there a default data set which we can send our partners with a few different items and examples in, where we can explain to the guys, for example, meat, or for example, maize meal, or for example, a item like a toy box, okay? The different types of departments, categories it's in, weighted, non-weighted, etc. So everybody can maybe see it in that sense. Can we do something like that?
Do you want to view it? Have a look at it now.
Well, maybe we should put in 4 or 5 items. Guys, this is the 4 or 5 different items. So, I mean, everybody knows meat items needs to be weighed. Everybody knows that a plastic item, for example, is a single item. Maize meal may be a multi-pack item that's non-weighted. You know, something like that. I just feel like that type of detail will definitely fly over to rice. Yeah, it will go over to STK price and STK department and pack, and everybody can then see how those items, for examples, will go in. Is there anybody in the group in agreement that'd like to see that example?
Okay. Yeah, that's no problem.
Absolutely.
Okay, that's no problem. Let me, I mean, there's only a few columns left, and then I can just pull up data like that for us in a few seconds.
Thank you,
so
sir.
Let me just have a look here. Average sales, online range. This is for e-commerce. You mark the item to say yes or no if you want to have it ranged online or not. This is a fabric item, tile item, awaited item. Not being used, not being used, not being used. Loyalty points, if you earn loyalty points on the product, what's the point levels? So you can stipulate that there. This is for future. Oh, this is sell by days. This is for kit items. How many days? In how many days do you need to sell the product? You can stipulate it there on the product itself. And this is the same story, shelf life. Dispatch, this is the dispatch warehouse. So if you want to dispatch from a specific warehouse. And notes, just general notes on the product. And tile batch track. This is to track. So they actually allocate a, this is a new field for a tile company. They wanted to be able to trace a batch. So if you have a batch task that came in with a specific color, and the next batch that came from the supplier has got a different color code, then you can see, listen, okay, I've got a batch that I received. Maybe I've got like 2 boxes left of that batch I received, and you only took like 6 boxes the first time. I've got 2 left of that batch. You can go and you can take that from me. Then you know the color codes will match exactly. Apparently that was a thing inside the tiles. All right, so let me go pull up a SDK master with a few products in there. Let me just see. This is something else I was busy with. I'm just gonna close this template. And you say you want some kit items as well, am I right? So let's take this one away. It's a spreadsheet. Okay, Esther's going to do us a favor. She's got a spreadsheet available as well. I'm just going to work with that for now. I'll open up my template again because we need to work onto the. I just want to quickly run through the other columns as well we have. Come on, man. Yeah. All right. So that's SDK master. Next, we'll do SDK price. And let me go to. So I just want to show you the selling price field quickly as well. While my spreadsheet opens up here. Okay, so this is one that is looking quickly. Let's see what we have here. Okay. So these are the different ones that you can see. So this is the parent-child scenario that I was talking about before. basically how this one works is you'll see that there's a suffix on the unit and then the pack size. Let's find it here. Postcode. Okay, so there's the pack sizes. Okay, so this is a parent. This doesn't get sold. You'll find that there's no barcode on it. The one that has the barcode is actually unit sized. Here you'll see we've got 2 different pack sizes for this product. I only have a barcode for that unit, not barcode, supply code, obviously. This one is for selling. So scan that one or scan that one, and it will take whichever product you have there. Is all standard. Let's just go find a kit. We all know what a normal is, but I'll bring it in here as well. So there I've got the 3. All right, normal product is very straightforward, 1 in, 1 out. It's like a chair. I buy 1 chair, I sell 1 chair. I don't have to create pack sizes for it. It's just straightforward, 1 in, 1 out. Okay, that's just a normal product. Miscellaneous item. It's a miscellaneous product. I don't know what do you describe a miscellaneous? You don't have on-ends, and it's not part of some of your reports or GP. That's basically what it does. This is a kit item.
So a miscellaneous item might be something like travel or a non-stock item or something like that, isn't it?
Correct, yes. Service item is, it can also be used for a travel because it's more of a service that gets rendered. Miscellaneous is just miscellaneous. Okay, and then you've got kits. Now this is the kit. So let's just see. Yeah, let's just quickly go upstairs. Give me 1 second. I just want to do this. View. Top row. Okay, so now I can look at it like this. Okay, so there's a weight. Because it's a kit.
Sorry to interrupt.
Sure.
Okay, on miscellaneous,
Yeah.
I'm sure these non-stock items which goes directly into the GO account. So when we are doing this setup, is there in some way where we have to link that miscellaneous item to the general ledger account where it is supposed to go to? Because I wouldn't want a situation where after I process my transaction, then it affects my stock on hand if it is a non-stock item.
So miscellaneous items do get linked. It's the same. We can actually check. We'll see exactly on this one. There should be a field for that that's populated to which GL account theirs gets linked to. But yes, generally it will go straight to a GL account. So so you want to see here. So we do have a cell decimal difference here of 3 because they wanted to have is 3, and a cost decimal is 3 as well on this one. All right, here's the scale type. So this one is a price calculated. So it calculates the price from the weight. Okay, and these products are active items. This is an X, which means it's archived. So you can see a lot of them. These are the costs, cost codes. Is this what you guys were looking for, sort of?
Callisto, you mean as an IQ, when you select a miscellaneous item, the department defines where this item goes regarding the GL, right?
Yes, because the previous version that we are so popular with had a tendency where if you create your non-stock item and you don't specify like the processing method, then it tends to be debited or credited into the stock control, that is our stock on hand, where our physical items are processed. So my question was like, how do I differentiate that this is the way in which the miscellaneous item is going to be processed? Do I have an option in my setup where I say, okay, this miscellaneous or non-stock item is supposed to go to GL account A or B?
With Genesis, on the category 0, okay, you can link the GL number to the category 0. So it works essentially the same as an IQ. So an IQ, you'd go to the department general number. I'll send you a quick snipping tool of that. So category 0, for example, depending on what category it will be in, that's where you're going to put in the expense account, etc., or the non-trade account, etc., to make sure it doesn't affect your trading stock. I'll put it on the group now.
Okay, that's excellent. That's what
Okay, so it's going to be very much the same. It's very much similar in that sense. We split it category, department, same way, same split. Okay. I'll put it on the group for you now, on the group chat.
Okay, noted. Thank you.
Thanks, Callisto.
Okay. Right. So yeah, that's basically the different product codes we have, or product types. So we've got the only one that's different, or the only one that's missing here is a service one. We don't have a service one here. It's just the S to stipulate that it's a service item. Very similar to a miscellaneous. We use it in our company for labor, basically. You can use it for travel or career costs. It's not something you really do a GRB. It's not something you carry on end of. It doesn't need to affect any of the other things. All right. Okay, I just want to see here. Do you guys understand the concept of these pack sizes? Are there any questions regarding this?
That is like our cascading items, guys, that you'll have in IQ. So that's our way of working with the cascading, the 25 or the 24, 12, 1 items in a case. That's our cascading items.
Sorry to ask on that one. If we are going to relate this to the cascading items, would the pack size have its own cost that is traceable, or everything will be bunched into one stock code?
So let's have a look at this. Okay, so these are the products in question. Let's go and have a look at the cost. There you can find the costs. Do you see? Maybe I must move up. So let's have a look here. I've got a 12 and a 1 there. So this one's my 12. Let's just give it a different color. That's my 1. This is parent. So let's make that. Okay. Now if I go to the right, you'll find that the parent cost is similar to the unit. Well, it's exactly the same as the unit. It always will be. And then this cost will be unit cost times the quantity, the pack size, which will be 12 in this case.
What if there is differential in prices based on bulk buying? So let's say, take for example, if you buy 10 units, you end up paying 9 rand per each unit. If you buy single unit, you pay 10 rand.
Can
so
I
answer
this one for you?
Yeah, sure you may.
Okay, so we work on average cost. So as you know, the law of averages says, if I receive 1 for 10 rand, which I bought a single, but I receive 30 at 8 rand, it's going to take the average valuation, the 3 times 8, and the 1 times 10 rand, divided between the on hand to get the average price. So Callisto, what we do is we consolidate the average cost on, let's say, a single unit, and then we times it to get the price for the case and the shrink. So the average price will always be maintained between all three to make sure there's no variance in cost. For example, that your case and your shrink and your unit doesn't have a varying cost. So if you're going to, let's for example say a big thing the guys do is they GRV on a case and they return on a unit, right? You with me? Then it might affect the cost because your return at the unit might be a bit higher than you've bought at the case. So we take the current on hand and we take the pricing as received and we work it out. So in most of these cases, that unit that you've GRV'd won't have that much of a difference because we always take the average pricing in consideration, if that answers your question.
Yes, of course, it does. It's only that with some customers, they'll say, I really want to see the GP for the pack sizes and the GP for the singles. So if I'm going to be forced only on average, what about those clients who want to use a different valuation method like first in, first out, last cost and the like?
So we don't do FIFO, we do last cost or we do average cost, weighted average cost. So the way in which you can think about it is the main item or the parent item will be the main item, which is the one, and the child item will be the sub item in IQ, if that makes sense.
Yes, it does. Thank you.
So what's nice about the way we do things is because it's set like this, Ernie's got 15 and 1. So let's, for example, say that 11 o'clock T decided they're very smart and they've bought out a 5 buy. So Ernie can simply go into this, he can press add, and it will automatically take the cost, and the moment we put in units 5, it automatically creates that 5 buy item, and it calculates that cost. So creating, let's say, co-pack items like 6 buys, 12 buys, etc. on our system is very quick and it's very simple. The system already does all the dividing and cost for you. So you'll never have a situation where your 6 buys price doesn't balance or doesn't fall into the pricing that your case and your shrinks, etc. are. Okay.
Okay, cool. All right. So I think we're done with this understanding now. I just want to go back to my template here. All right, let's just go to price quickly. Price is basically the same story. So you've got your stock master. The link code then will stipulate for which pack size. If you've got the parents and childs in there, for what pack size do you want a selling price? We've got price codes. You can have multiple price codes. So let's see someone. Okay. I just want to go show you here inside of Genesis. So I've got a price of 1, which is my default price there. So I'll just say add price. And here you can stipulate. If I've got more price codes, you can stipulate that there. This is the pricing rule, inclusive, exclusive, markup, or GP. And then you can stipulate the rounding. Okay, so these are the fields and the columns. This whole screen that you're looking at is basically this table. So I just populate the inclusive or the exclusive because that's the data that I get from the customer. I haven't seen a guy giving me a GP and calculating a price from the GP. If that is the rule, then we just need to stipulate it there via this indicator here. Okay. Any questions? Okay, in that case, I'll continue. Dates, again, version, it's just 0. Input is that. These values are calculated with that formula. And this one is for that formula. All right, that's the price file. Departments, very straightforward. You give it a code, you give it a description, and then these dates. The rest of the fields, obviously, these ones are important. These ones is not. This is the sub-GL ledger accounts that you were referring to before. Okay. And then you can have a stock code sequence suffix. This is the suffix, and that's the prefix. So if you've got a stock item and you link it to a specific department, you can have this department a prefix or suffix. So as soon as you add this product to this department, it will add whatever suffix you fill in that column there, it will add it to the front of these codes. Alternatively, description suffix will be code suffix. Whatever the suffix is that you populate in there, will then sit at the back of these codes that you fill in there. Okay. So that's basically what's that. Okay, pack size. Okay, let me explain to you pack size a little bit here. I just need to maybe get you a different one. It's got more info. Give me one sec. Give me one. I do have one.
Okay, guys. So how this flows is the selling prices for Genesis sits in STK price. Our stock departments sits in STK depot, and our pack sizes and everything sits in STK pack. So all of this essentially gets consolidated within STK master. So all the master files that you need except the dual account master is in here that you need to take on. So you'll literally send this to a client for him to fill it in, or you'll fill it in. And these are all the examples and suffixes, etc., that you'll put into the template.
Yeah. All right. So let me just explain you. I've got this that I just quickly copied from somewhere else. Basically, this is the pack size. That is the description of the pack size. This is the code that will get filled in to the STK master, which will be here. The description will go on reports. This will go to reports. This is the unit that will deduct or add stock quantity. This unit actually fills into the stock master. That's the unit that goes into this block here. All right. This is a prefix. If you want to have a prefix of the pack size on the codes, this is the suffix. So it will prefix the product with a P. So basically these codes here will have a prefix, and then the link codes will have a suffix. If you select the link code, this will be the suffix for that. Okay, and then this is the description prefix, if you've got any. This is just the date. All the places where you ever see DTO date, DTO time, DTO user is who created it, when it was created, at what time. Okay, and then this is the DTO MAC ID on what machine. All right, this is the description suffix. Whatever description it needs to add at the back of this description here. Remember before I said description 3, and then the pack size column will add a suffix at the end here. That's if you set it like that. It doesn't have to be. It's all parameter driven. That's description prefix, and then this is the suffix. Okay, so in a nutshell, whatever is here, this is just how it works. All right. Any questions on this?
Leander, you've got a question?
I just want to find out if my client now needs to fill in this whole thing and they have multiple supplier codes for one item. How do we do it?
Oh, okay, that's a good question. We've got, so you're going to list the product once. Although so the product's got multiple supplier codes. So we actually have a field which is called alternate supplier codes. So inside of Genesis, you've got alternate codes and then alternate supplier codes. So you can go and say you create the product once, and then you just link the alternate suppliers or the more supplier codes to this exact same product. Then you just say, what's the account, obviously, and then you're going to give it the supplier code. So who's the supplier, and then what's that supplier's code for that product? Does that answer your question?
Yes, thanks. And then also, can this system take multiple types of barcodes? Like, for instance, the EAN 13 and
Yes.
a code 28
Yes.
or whatever.
EAN 8 and EAN 13 that you'll get on the
Yes.
Camel cigarettes, and that's a yes, ma'am.
Danke.
To all of them, yeah. So in our scenario, let me just go to my spreadsheet. So for the ones that do know a bit of SQL, the data type or the field type, let's go here. This field here is in varchar, so you can actually populate this field with any characters up until 25 characters. So you can put there like that. So whatever you type in that field, that's whatever is in there. So it will take any type of barcode that you can think of inside there.
And it's got a very good point. So if you've got a customer with car spares, you can do a concatenation on car spare parts numbers. You can concatenate it and put it into the barcode field, and then it will be a searchable field to anybody out there.
Okay. So this is basically your supplier master list. Company code, yet again, very important. I'll mark this as red. People can see. Yeah, look at that. Okay, these are the account codes. You can either adopt the ones that comes from their system, or alternatively create a new one, depending on what you want, depending on what his requirements are. Obviously, description, address, postal address, contact information, fax, cell, email, contact person. It's a bill to this account. So is this a billing account, a credit limit on this account, currency, account type. We've got two: open item or balance brought forward. Okay, what's the month end? Is it a trade account? This is like a non-trade account. Okay. So expense account. So we bought products from them. We don't purchase stock from them. This is probably some toilet fixes we bought. Anyway, GL account linked to that supplier account. You can do that there. Payment method. What's the balance? Yeah. I just want to stipulate this balance actually doesn't get imported from here. Inside of Genesis, we've got an option for take on balances. We'll go through that in more detail just now. I don't want to spend too much time with this spreadsheet anymore. I see our time is running out a little bit here, but we do have take on balance thing here somewhere. So let's find it here. Balance, take on balance. So we do have a take on balance import utility available. A GL account linked for take on balance. Okay. So we'll get back to that. So, but this balance is not where you put it in. It's just to display the current balance on the screen while you have it open. Delivery balance, I don't think that's being used. HRV, rebates posting. This is to say if you earn rebates. Document type is Yeah, tax invoice. That's the correct term. That's the VAT indicator on GRV. So there's actually 2 VAT indicators on here. Let me just show you in Genesis as well. So on the supplier, the stock master. I'll just go into anyone. So on the supplier accounts, you can actually say what's the VAT indicator? It's exclusive. Okay. And then auto calculate the VAT on the GRV. And then there's one other space where you can also save here. Main data. Oh, yes. Right, so yeah. Default VAT indicator. So this is the default VAT indicator for the supplier, but when you do a GRV, maybe his tax invoice comes as an inclusive one. You can just say the GRV indicator for this tax invoice, because this is all GRV posting defaults. The GRV is actually inclusive, but the supplier is exclusive. Just 2 methods of doing that. Okay, so this is the GRV VAT indicator. Okay, let's continue. DTO dates again, VAT number, status is open. This is the default VAT indicator that I've mentioned. How many days from your terms? Term type is from document. From term from type. Okay. Claims. DC supplier. DC, yeah, it's defaults. Okay, this is your default company. So if you've got multi branches inside of one database, you can say that this is the destination company or destination branch for this specific supplier. So if I've got one DC, which is my distribution center, and I've got multiple branches, the distribution center does the purchasing. So all of this just goes to the distribution center. It doesn't go to the branches. But you can say, listen, I want the supplier to go to the branch directly. So then this will get allocated to that branch specifically and not to the DC. This is just to say allow returns. I'm allowed to return products to the supplier. Okay, we don't use the rest of these things too much. Extended terms. Bank authorization, no. Don't use these fields. The only one we do use is this one. This is allow cross order iteming items. What that does is, it's over here. This one, allow cross item ordering. So if you've got a supplier like Tiger Brands, there's certain products that's linked to Tiger Brands. Now you can't go and take a ABI product and return it or buy it from Tiger Brands, for instance. So then this is switched off. So then you can't take any product that's not linked to the supplier and buy it or sell it to that supplier. If it's yes, then it's open cards. You can take whatever product you have in the system and order it from that supplier or send it back to that supplier. So Makru, for instance, this will be yes. So, okay. Say again? Yeah, Devlin or whatever, all of those ones. Right, let's go back here. Right, so that's the supplier master. Data master is basically the same. Company, branch, account. Data type is a data. I don't think there's too much of a difference there. Let's see, can't remember too well. Normally it's just a data type. It's a D. Oh, it's a lead. Okay, I never used that before. Okay, name, trading as name, addresses, postal addresses, telephone numbers, email, cell phone, contact person, open item, sale type. It's always A. Never seen something else there. I don't think you can change it, to be honest. It just needs to be default A. That's I've never changed that in my life. Okay, VAT indicator, straightforward. This is if you've got sales rep, do they earn interest on this? We don't actually use this indicator anymore. It's moved to the sales rep field. Okay, this is the status of the account. If it's open, on hold, stopped, or closed. Credit limit for that. The limit check. This is a limit check. So when it does reach this limit, it will then stop. The other indicator is ignore. I'll just show you. Default, it's on stop always. As you can see, there's security parameters around this where you can go and change it. At the moment, it's set to no one is allowed to go change it, but it will stop as soon as this credit limit is reached. It will stop. Okay. Region. This is Eastern Cape, Gauteng. This is the regions that you set up. It's under other masters. But it's not mandatory. Balance, this is not being used. Price category, this is price code 01. That's default 01. Always default 01. System is set up with the default 01. Allow promotions, if it's allowed to go through the promo or not. So you can stipulate it per customer account. This is not being used, not used, I'm actually lying. It's a lie, it's a lie.
Does this also have mandatory and non-mandatory fields, Annie?
Yes, the yellow ones are mandatory from the spreadsheet. I'll just show you here quickly. Oh, there we go. So the pricing rules for this debtor account can be stipulated inside of the spreadsheet over here. I think it's these blocks here. Yes or no with a value. And then here's a value, yes or no. And that's basically what this thing is looking like. So how it works is, I'm just going to display it from this screen. This is the price code. You can say selling price plus. If you say then yes, 10% or whatever percentage value. Alternatively, you say no, and then you say selling price minus, yes, and you give it a percentage. Or you can say cost plus. So from the cost, your system will be set up either to last or average, whichever one is used as the default. It will take that cost and plus whatever value you put here, and it will automatically work out a selling price for this customer account accordingly. And it ignores all of this and just uses the cost plus. Alternatively, it uses the selling price plus a percentage or selling price minus a percentage. Okay. Back here. Department price, list price. Okay, we don't use this. We've got department pricing, just yes or no there. Allowed to use the last price. I think we use this one actually. Alternate codes. I don't know if there's alternate codes for them. Let's continue. Okay, these are those date fields again. VAT number, this is a mandatory field for the ones that do have VAT. There's actually a telephone number that's also mandatory. This one is also mandatory. The defaults are set up to use a telephone number. Payment method transfer, that's a currency, it's just category, group codes. If you've got this is just to link your customers to a category, if you've got category set up, and then groups as well. If you have bad debt groups or good paying customer groups or whatever, you can stipulate it there. Allow partial orders, yes or no. Communication method is email. Terms 7-day from invoice. So 7-day from invoice. So this is days, not months. Month calendar, the default company where this, or default branch that this data account is linked to. Because you've got multi branches inside of Genesis, we just want to know this data account, from which account or from which branch does it come from? Because you can sync them up and down between the branches. Okay, version of the program when the data account was created. Okay. Is this an intercompany account? So intercompany accounts just gets handled a bit differently. You've got document flow. So if one branch invoices another branch, you just stipulate that this is an intercompany branch, you tick it as a yes, then document flow will automatically take an invoice from the one side to a GRV on the other side just for approval. So you don't have to go and recapture documents from the one side to the other side. Company registration, that's that there. Data deals, are you allowed data deals on this, yes or no? Block returns, yes or no? Is this an e-commerce account? Does it come from the online store, or does it do online orders? Yes, no. Is this a stock file account? Yes or no? And if it is a stock file account, what is the password? So here you can actually populate them with passwords. Then they have to give you the password to be able to sell. So these two work hand in hand. Temporary credit limits. So if you've got a credit limit set, just want to explain this quickly. So if you do have a credit limit set, you've got a temporary credit limit. So you can click on this little arrow here and you can set a temporary limit. You can even stipulate this for whatever amount you want for that date. As soon as the sale is done, this temporary limit falls away. If you're only buying for R5, this temporary limit falls away. It's only valid for one sale for this day. You have to go and phone the accounts manager again and ask him to put in a new temporary limit so you can be able to sell. That's the idea behind that one. Oh, sorry, last one. Okay, temporary credit limit date. There's that. I see my columns are out. We've got a new column. It's an e-commerce password. So we've got an e-commerce password that's actually stipulated there. These ones are out of sync. It's probably new fields. There's the e-commerce password. These two are changed, swap around. Travel distance, just how far this customer is from the location where we are. It's in kilometers. Okay, this I haven't used before. Don't know. And this is pre-authorization. Idea behind the pre-authorization is you need to authorize the transaction. So on sale of this account, so when I ring up some stuff to this account and I want to finalize the sale, if this indicator is yes, it will then authorize, or then it will prompt two things. The first one is a OTP could be sent to the owner of this account to whichever cell phone address was given to the system. So either this one, let me go show you just quickly here. So we have one more field that's actually called contacts. You can have multiple contacts for your debtors. It's not saved into this specific spreadsheet. It's a different table that you need to import. So if it's necessary, we can supply you a template of that. But this is just the master. We do have an alternative contacts template. So how this one works is I'm just going to open the screen so you can see. So this is obviously the company information, the customer, the contact information. This is the company. And then you can say this is the main account. This is the main holder of the account. What's the date and telephone number and all of that. And then here you can say, okay, I need communication method. A one-time PIN must be emailed, email statements, email quotes, and invoices. I want to be able to do that to this guy. Or you can say SMS this, SMS a tax and notification. Any transaction that happens on there. This is to authorize a transaction. So I need a one-time PIN SMS to my cell phone number so that I can authorize a transaction to make it through. And then if he is marked as SMS marketing, if he agrees on the contract that he signs, you can say, all right, we'll use you for marketing purposes. You can have this tick. This tick goes into our marketing module that we have almost available. The work in progress. Email address ministry. I cannot go into that. All right, so that's data master in a nutshell. All right, any questions? Yeah,
Leandi?
Okay, so with this whole POPI Act and stuff, so we're now transferring a client, but the account is on hold. So my status must be known, correct? H, okay. Yeah. Now, I know as far as I'm aware, it's 2 years that data needs to be held. Now, how can you set up your data to actually show that this customer is closed and the time period before the information needs to be deleted?
Okay.
So, yeah. So
sorry,
you can go ahead.
Okay, so we actually we don't really delete any of the information out of Genesis. Let me put it that way. All history stays inside of the database. So this data account could be archived. So as soon as so the account could be on hold because you don't use the account, or for whatever reason you have, you can say that it's on hold, and you can stipulate the reason for the status right over here. Okay. If the account is archived, it means then no one will ever see the account inside of this list. These accounts will then move to a archived data column, which is then separate from what you can see or browse or search. You will not find that account anywhere inside the system unless you come to this screen here. Okay. Does that answer your question?
Yes, it does. Thank you.
So that's the nice thing about our system is if you take something out of the archiving, it's not going to show up on your data's aging, etc. Right?
Correct.
Right? But it'll keep the previous transactions for history purposes. So if you need to create an invoice or something previously like that, you see, by law, you're not allowed to delete transactions out of your system because obviously it's got tax implications. And that's what Genesis does well. By archiving it, you can still go back to the previous document, but it won't show up on your data's analysis and searching, etc. like that, Leande.
Great, thank you.
All right, perfect. Any other questions? Guys are more than welcome. Okay. Just want to see what was next on this agenda. Data imports. Okay, so I don't know, maybe Ursula, do you want to quickly do a data import? Are you ready? All right, I think Ursula will quickly do a data import. And then we've got still users that we need to quickly go past. System parameters is going to take a while. User access, point of sale process, cache up. I don't think we have enough time for all of this. We can go around quickly with data imports. It's just one of the columns. We'll just do one template. I think we'll do just like, what do you have? SDK master. Okay, so we'll just do the stock master import. That's basically the same principle applies to all of the other template fields or tables. So we'll just import an example of this, and these ones all work the same way. So we'll just use one example. And then I think if you guys are fine, we can continue. We can quickly do a quick rundown of user creation, user access and groups. Let me just move this up here so you guys can see. So user creation, user access and groups, and then company branch master and take on balance. It's those three. We should be fairly quickly in passing through all of those. All right, Ursula, stop sharing my screen and then you can quickly start. Are you ready? Okay, Sharaf.
Yeah, guys. Hi, guys. My name is Ursula. Can everybody hear me?
Yes, Ursula, we can hear you clearly. Hi.
Hello. Okay, can everybody see the screen?
Yes, we can clearly.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I just want to copy my template that I've got. Just give me 1 second.
Guys, will we be distributing this template today to all of our partners?
We can, yes. Okay, so this is my template that I've got ready to import. So it's exactly like the one Ernie showed you guys. So once my data is ready to import, I will click on my tab and I will say move or copy. And I will say to a new book and create a copy. I'll click on OK. Now I've got my new book over here and I will delete the stock part of it because I do not need that for my import. I will remove my filters. And then I will save it. Okay. I just want to copy this to the server. Okay, the server doesn't have Excel on, but it needs to be in the Excel ASX format. And then we use a tool that's called EMS that speaks to, that connects to our SQL. Just check, yeah. This one will work. Okay. I just want to unregister this. So this tool communicates with SQL and it's much easier and user-friendly when it comes to data conversions, imports, reporting, and all of that. So yeah, I'll click on Manage Existing Database, and then I will select it's on my local PC. Then you choose SQL Server Authentication. You type in your username and password. Then I select my database, and I say Finish, and this will mount my DB. Now I'm going to open my database. And then I'll click on tables, so it will view all my tables. I just want to open this template again. So at the bottom here, only name the tabs as per the table names in our database. So the SDK master, which I've got that I want to import, I need to go to look for that table SDK master. You can search there or scroll. There we go. Busy thinking. Okay, then I'll double click on it. Okay, then you have to go here to data. And this will show you what's in the table. So at the moment, I already have a lot of items in here, but I'm going to import the extra few. Okay, now I'm going to say import data. Leave it down MS Excel. And look for my file. It's on a desktop. Okay, this is an older version of EMS. Just give me 1 second. And I have to save this. As this 97 to 2003 workbook. Now it's picking up my file. I'm going to select it. I'm going to say open. And we're going to say next. Okay, here I will say skip the first row. It will skip my headings that I've got in my Excel sheet. Then I'll say auto fill columns down. I just check if everything corresponds. Okay, it does. But on rec ID, we delete the range because we don't want to fill anything in there. It will automatically start from 1 and.
So just from my side quickly, so rec ID is a SQL key column. So these key columns get filled in from SQL itself. So every entry that goes into the database, it will automatically, SQL will automatically fill in a column or a number inside of this block. This is not part of Genesis. It's not anything that goes or comes from Genesis, it's part of SQL, so that's why we need to delete that exact column match.
Dankie, Annie. Okay, so everything does correspond. So if I go to the end of the sheet and I go to the bottom here to see what is my last field, it's matching. Where is it? Okay. Did I maybe do it by accident? Okay, cool. Okay, then I'm gonna say next. Next. Yeah, you don't really have to worry too much about filling in anything. You can just go next. And then you say insert all.
I just want to comment on this screen that you can see in front of you. If you've done an import and its data is in, but you forgot to add in a column, you can go to update, like Ursula is selecting there, and then you select your key columns that you want to use as a unique indicator to say, fill in the rest of the fields where the following columns are unique. So company, branch, and stock code will be unique. And then normally we do link code and barcode as well, because then it will definitely show unique. It will definitely pick up a unique line, and then it will update all the rest of the columns accordingly. So it will just update the existing lines where it matches. If it doesn't match, it will not insert a new entry. It will just update all existing ones.
Okay, cool. Okay, next, finish. Now it will start importing the data. Oh, yes. Okay.
Okay, Ursula, while you quickly batting this for us, can I quickly go and guys, I know we're a little bit over time. As you know, at Genesis we try and do everything properly. Can I quickly do a screen share from my side and just do a quick real highlight package about what we've covered today, Ursula and Annie?
Yeah.
Okay. Everybody see my screen?